Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome to another episode of Retro Gaming. This episode's game, Super Hang On. So as you've gathered, and if you spent your misspent youth in an arcade game, you'll realise that Super Hang On is a motorcycle racing arcade game that was released by Sega and was indeed the sequel to the acclaimed Hang On. A version of this game in the full simulated motorcycle cabinet used by the original Hang On was released in 1991, however, as limited edition Hang On. The arcade mode in Super Hang On is similar to the original. However, there is a choice of 4 tracks to race, which are based on continents, each containing different amounts of stages. Also, should the player reach the normal speed of 280 km per hour, a turbo button is enabled. Using this button allows the player to reach an even higher top speed of 324 km per hour. Now in Super Hang On, each stage is roughly half the length of the stage in the original Hang On. The stage you see on the screen now, Africa, is apparently the easiest and shortest out of the 4 courses and contains 6 stages. However, I gotta say, it's not that easy. Asia is the second easiest and is similar in length to the course from the original Hang On at 10 stages long. The Americas is the second to toughest course, containing 14 stages, and Europe is the hardest course, being 18 stages long. When the player starts a race, they have the choice of 4 songs that will play during the race, a feature that was borrowed straight out of the game Outrun. The Sega Mega Drive version of the game included the full arcade game and an additional original mode, which allowed players to recruit sponsors and earn money to buy enhanced components for their bike. The cover for this version has a bike and a rider in the same colours as a famous rider, Shinichi Hito, who competed in the All Japan 500cc Championship on a Rothmans Honda NSR 500. Even though this version is the Atari ST version and running off the original disc, no emulators here and the feed taken directly into a video capture card, versions were produced for the ZX Spectrum, the Amstrad CPC and Commodore 64 in 1987, with further home conversions following for the Sega Genesis, Commodore Amiga, this one the Atari, the Macintosh, the Sharp, MS-DOS machines, which followed in 1989-1990. The ZX Spectrum version was as accurate to the arcade as possible on that platform, which, given it was only 48K to use, was quite an astounding feat. In fact, the periodical of the time for that Spectrum user was Sinclair User, and they rated it a glorious 10 out of 10, and was rated number 27 in the Your Sinclair official Top 100. The arcade version was released on Wii's Virtual Console service in Japan on September the 14th, 2010, and then later in North America and Europe on May the 3rd, 2012. Like Shinobi and its omission of any references to Marilyn Monroe, the Virtual Console version of Super Hang On was slightly altered to avoid any copyright trouble. This includes the replacing of several in-game billboards, which were used to feature real brand names such as CB, with similar billboards which mention other Sega games, such as Afterburner and then Outrun. Another version of the game was released for the Nintendo 3DS via the Nintendo eShop in Japan on March the 27th, 2013. The game featured stereoscopic 3D and tilt controls, which emulate the arcade version. This version was released for North America and Europe in 2013 in the month of November. Given this is now stage 4 of the Africa course, you can see I really am coming down to it. 13 seconds to go with the checkpoint just around the corner. The twisty turny track of the second to third phase really does allow you to lose time, and with this and seeing the palm trees present does tend to suck your time. I don't tend to get that further in the game as what I've got now. Though it's very important to try and use the boost just to gain that extra little bit of speed on the straights when you can get a bit of a straight. You see, with 10 seconds to go, 9, 8, I'm soon going to lose my positioning here for this game. But not to worry, I've enjoyed playing it. I've been Ricardo, and this has been Retro Gaming. Check out for more videos in the series.